How plain should I state what I feel inclined to state? I wonder, I may just need to jump in. Blessings to jumping in. Perhaps you yourself are realizing that the support systems you relied upon are crumbling. We've been documenting this for a very long time, from a particular set of vantages often discounted. As you descend into increasingly severe disability, if Google will still serve you relevant results, you might take a few minutes to search and read up on what is called the social model of disability, wherein we are disabled because we disable one another. We are disabled because our platforms for communication, our technology, is intentionally disabling, often to make money, but also for other reasons, in different social circumstances, especially in the midst of networks of known active human trafficking operations. These known active human trafficking operations are always closer than you think. They are part of all our environments. They've been operating as long as we've been living. When our professional networks have their origins in trafficker colonizer rule sets, when trafficker colonizers were the ones that originally provided the only money that was available, the only viable resourcing. You know, after they had destroyed everything. Over the generations, our professionals have not necessarily had the privilege of remembering where these systems started and who they're benefiting. Chances are, whoever you are reliant upon some of these professional networks. They are made up of people you have trusted and respected. They are made up of people who are dear to you, whose well-being you care for profoundly, members of your community and members of your family. So it's challenging to start to understand the violence that all have been undergoing invisibly. Now it is especially important that we all recognize this together so that we can take action most effectively for all our lives and safety. When you find yourself unwilling or unable to take action that seems needed, when you feel helpless or hopeless or too stressed to function, this is almost certainly because you yourself are already embedded in a network affected by human trafficking operations. When you follow the rules that trafficker colonizers set forth, you disable yourself, those around you, and especially the invisible people who fall below the threshold of privilege of showing up or speaking out. They disappear from your spaces. Maybe you even forget they exist, even if you have made a career of working on their behalf. Even if your whole life you have dedicated yourself to caring what happens to them. One of the reasons we co-created Intuitive Public Radio and our Intuitive Community Spaces is so that we could give each other pep talks every morning, every afternoon, every evening. Ongoing. Originally, we didn't even have the privilege of communicating. We couldn't reach because disabled people are increasingly prevented from communicating with one another, and severely disabled people may never be able to be in contact with another severely disabled person. Our experience is that we change that fundamentally when we choose to stop allowing the rules of traffickers to stay in place. We notice what are the guidelines that trafficker colonizers want us to follow, and we eliminate those from our spaces. Then those of us who are severely disabled and severely affected can more inclusively communicate and start to reconstruct a means of surviving where otherwise everyone around us told us that our needs were impossible to meet, that our survival was a question that could not be answered, and that our situations were basically hopeless. Every single day, we are continuing to prove that they were wrong about that. So where does that put us? In a position of responsibility, it seems, and in a position of particular strength.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, well, all I can do is laugh. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.